Well, I'm here working on the FE35 PTO, and I got the shaft out the other day, as you can recall, and we put a little post out about this housing, what these holes are for. And look, the general consensus is just that someone's drilled in there to put a C-spanner or something in it, but they've drilled down through here and in through there, and this whole thing is mashed around a fair bit. So I did have a spare, and so I've this is the one off the 65 which I've bead blasted. The other one, for the spare for the 35, is in the vise there, where I've just been sorting out the thread a little bit. Now on the 65 we're going to put the standard Ferguson cap back. The Ferguson 65, or the Massey Ferguson 65, it's going to be very close to original. Look, not perfect, but you know, pretty close, pretty reasonable. But the little FE35, it's going to be a pulling tractor, and as a pulling tractor, it's just going to be for, you know, tractor pulls and things like that. It's going to be just a toy, really. And so I had another sort of seal retainer, I suppose would be the word for it, off an FE35. So I've tidied that up. I've put it in the lathe. I've taken all the beadings and that off that, and I've had to clean the thread out, and we're going to put this PTO cap on it. And the PTO cap's there, so if we're pulling or dragging something and it slides up and hits the back of the tractor, it'll hit here and it won't hit the PTO shaft and push it up into the hydraulic pump and things like that. So that's not the correct one. I can't actually find another correct one in the stuff I have. So look, that will do for the moment. Now this seal retainer, they have the seal in here, and it sits up the back there, and we push that in as far as it will go. But to get it out, I have an old wheel spacer here, and believe it or not, it's off a Mitsubishi tractor that I bought some parts one time, and this was part of it. So to get the seal out, all I do is I have a 55mm disc out of a seal installing kit, and it fits in between the threads there without mucking the threads up, and it comes through the back. If I keep it straight, it comes through and pushes the seal out. Now you can see the seal, you can just see the seal sits in about 1/4 inch there. So I do have a tool here for putting the seal in, and that sits there, but of course this here is too fat to go 1/4 inch down into this housing. So I will go and machine this down, so there's a lip there, and then we'll put a shoulder up here so it goes in 1/4 inch, and I can still use this tool. So I'll do that a little bit later. Now the FE35 shaft here, you can see on the seal surface there's quite a lot of, well, it's just where there's a bit of rubbish got caught in the seal and dragged around and marked the seal surface area. So I'm going to pop the bearing off and put this in the lathe and polish that out. Now we don't need to have this perfectly flat. The seal, when we have a look at a seal at the back there, you can see there's quite a lot of tension there, and when we put it on you can feel the tension. So if this is 1/2 millimetre down in that groove, that'll be fine. The seal will take that up. I just have to look though and make sure there's no pits. If there's any pits that we can't polish out, a pit with a sharp edge will wreck the seal and you probably need a new shaft. Or another reasonable option is to machine this down, and I've done that in the past. Say machine 4mm off it, I suppose, and make a little sleeve that presses on there, and then machine it back down to standard size. So that is another option to save buying a new one. So we'll just see how we go. Now you can also see on this shaft, the old shaft, on the seal surface we have a snap ring here, and this snap ring stops the shaft going in and pushing up the back of the hydraulic pump. On the other end of the bearing, we have a snap ring here. So we'll have to pull that snap ring off. But the difference between that and this later shaft, now this is a shaft I have for the Massey 65. You can see that it doesn't have this central circlip that this one has. It's got a boss there, but we still have a circlip down here. So this one's going to be for the 65, so I'm going to do that while I'm doing the FE35, while I've got all the tools out. I've already been into the tractor and you can see that there's a shiny piece here. Well, that's where a shaft support bearing goes. So this sits under the pinion shaft and this sticks through, and your sliding collar to engage and disengage your PTO slides onto here. So the gear sits on this shaft at all times, and when we want to engage ground PTO, it slides back and engages with the ground drive gear off the pinion. When we want to have engine PTO, it slides up and it hooks up the rear shaft on the hydraulic pump, and through the inner female spline on the gear, it drives this. So because of all the water and muck in this FE35, I've replaced that bearing, and I'm going to replace the bearing here, and it's an S40804. That's a Sparex bearing I've had in stock here, and the seals are an S40806, and the O-ring that goes around the housing here, these are all parts I had in stock, is an S4585. So they're the parts I'll be fitting. I suppose first up we can start bringing this seal down in, and all we need to do is locate it. Oh, I should explain too, the reason this sits up here is because when the seal that sits in there comes out, we need a space for it to come out when we're bashing it or pressing it out. So this thing here, it supports this all the way round. So if I just put it in a couple of V-blocks in the press, you only support it here and here. So anyway, this is the way I do it. It mightn't be the way you do it, and that's all right too, I suppose. So all I really need to do here is pop that in there. We'll get a little bit of grease. Grease this surface so the seal can move easily. A little bit of grease here. I'll see how this works, but I do have to machine this down, but just for the video at the moment, I might just go forward and go this way. So if we try and line that up as best we can. Right, and that's as far as we can go there. We pull that tool out. So what I had been doing is once I got that far, I have a little plate here and we just sort of just bump that down in there. But look, I think what I'll do is I'd like to go and machine this down, get this correct, and then I've made the tool. You've only got to make the tool once, so I'll probably shoot off and do that. And otherwise, I haven't really got a disc that's a correct size. I've got all sorts of shapes and sizes, but I haven't got one the correct size just to slide down in there. So I'll go and make one of those and we'll come back. Okay, I've machined this up now. Now this is the size of the seal. This is the size of the housing there. Well, that's very snug on that one. But I'll just put this seal in all the way, no worries at all. So for those who might want to make one, let's have a look. I tidied this surface up. I made it a little bit smaller because it had a mark on it. So in kilometres an hour, 43.7, and look, that probably would have been 44 mil originally. The OD here that goes in, I've got that at 68 mil, which would have been 0.268, so that was probably, should have been 0.265 maybe. And It's a 1/4 inch deep, which is 6.6 mil roughly. I'm a little bit over that, but that seemed to work well on there. So that's the seal in. Now the seal goes this lip here towards the thread, the spring at the back here towards the oil. So it always has to be like that, and that'll just go in. I'll probably go over the press and press this other one on, but the idea is that I sit the seal onto the tool, try and centralise it a little bit there, and then we just press it in until it bottoms out, and job done. So I've been meaning to make that for bloody ages. So anyway, I've done it today, so that's a good thing. Alright, so now to get this bearing off, we'll undo the snap ring here. Well, she's got some bloody go to it. Go. Okay, see that's getting hard there now. Now what's happening is where that circlip is, that snap ring, there's a slight little burr there from the snap ring, just from old age. So I'll go and file that off, and I'm just going to bump that off, and then I'm going to just sit this up in the chuck. I've got a 6-jaw chuck over there on the lathe, and I'm going to get some paper. I'm just going to, I may even pull this big snap ring there out just so it's out of the way. I'm going to polish this as best I can, and we'll have a look at it from there, eh? Okay, I've had the little PTO shaft, the FE35 one, over in the lathe, and I've polished that. I didn't polish this surface here, I just cleaned that up because getting this bearing off, the bearing was quite loose on the shaft there, so I thought I would try and leave it as big as I possibly could. This snap ring in here was a little bit loose as well, so I might just give that a bit of a tune up. And you can see that's the bearing side. You can see a little witness mark there, that was towards the bearing. So I'm going to probably turn that around this time. Probably should have come in from the other end instead of dragging that across the seal surface. But I think all is well. Somewhat. But that's alright. This bearing I'll just bloody get it started. I might pop over to the press. Okay, we've pressed the bearing on. That was it. Let's see if we can. Actually, I might turn that around. The pointy end's that side, so we'll bring that around.
No.
Couple of dogs barking in the background. You probably won't hear that because I've got noise cancelling microphones. Oh, half time change hands. Yep.
Fun.
The little snap ring's got a bit of go to it. I think that's in the groove nicely. Okay, so that's the PTO done for the FE35. I probably need to clean that. I probably should have done that a bit earlier, but I'll do that with a bit of brake cleaner and just to clean that out. And so what we have to do now is feed this up the back of the tractor, and I usually like to do it all in one piece like that. And so you're pushing on here and you're pushing on the bearing and all that as well. Now before we go and do that though, we have to pop this circlip on. Oh, circlip. I might even put an O-ring on this one, eh? Just to be different, yeah. So we'll pop the O-ring on there. And with my copper anti-seize still spray, I'll use a bit of, excuse me leaning over you like that. Bit of copper anti-seize grease on there. So when someone comes to get that out, when I'm 302, that'll be okay. What I didn't do there that I would like to do, that's that CRC copper anti-seize, that's good stuff. Is I was going to put a little bit of grease around the seal here. I always like grease around things like that to get them started and get them underway. Pop that on. Okay, there you go. Well, you saw me pull that out of the back of the tractor. So I don't think I'll film putting it back in. The main thing is I've got a dirty bolt to get out up the top there that's in the back of the diff housing, and this looks fine. That's all you need to know for that job. But like I say, I'll probably do the 65 one while I have all the gear out. But yeah, we might end the video there, and hopefully that's given you a bit of insight into how to do your PTO seal. Alright, we'll catch you all later, eh?